I'm Ronnie Angelo Dungo of the Society of Jesus. This is my 8th year in the society as scholastic. Right now, it's my first year of theology, and at present, I'm working at the Vocation Promotions Office of the Society of Jesus. For 2 years, in my regency, I taught at the Ateneo de Davao University High School. And a year previous to that, I worked under the Center for Ignition Spirituality. And I taught 8 years at Tarlac State University High School prior entering the Society of Jesus way back 2004. Okay.
So,
Jane.
yeah. What brought you to what brought you to priesthood, to teaching?
Maybe I was in high school when I realized I wanted to be a priest. So that's my initial engagement to the thought of being a priest. Then I applied, but I was sad to say I was turned down by 3 seminaries. So I went to college and pursued a degree in chemistry. Then after college, I worked for a year at the International Rice Research Institute. Then I was hired by the university, State University, Tarlac State University in particular, to teach in the high school. It was in the last 2 years of my teaching in Tarlac State University High School that I have realized that I have still this calling to be a priest. So I discerned, I went into the program of discernment for a year, and there, when I was accepted to enter, I entered the Society of Jesus May 30, 2004. There. In terms of education, it was not really in my consciousness to be in education, I guess, but it is a propitious in nature to be in education, because it is a preparation for me to relate to other people. At the same time, it was there that I have realized that I have this passion to be with kids, to teach in particular. So when I was in Davao, Ateneo de Davao High School, the realization came through by an experience wherein I have the student, I'm giving an exam. Then he wasn't answering the questionnaire. So I went to him and asked him why he's not answering the test. Then he just said this to me, bro, my father and my mother were fighting this morning, and I don't know whether I'm going to see my father this afternoon. That moment, I've realized not the importance of my subject, but the importance of human relation in teaching. I've realized that in teaching, we are not just teaching students to learn, teaching students to memorize the formulas, to know the techniques, to know the shortcuts, but we are teaching the students to prepare themselves for their own life, to prepare for the life to come, for their generation, not to the life that we are living now. So I guess that is one of a key experience that made me realize that within my vocation as a scholastic, as a would-be priest, a vocation of teaching is rebirth, the rebirthing of my passion in teaching. So aside from our various apostolates, teaching is where I want to venture later on in my Jesuit formation.
Um, what do you wish to, what do you wish to contribute to the society at large, being a priest and an educator?
In terms of contribution, maybe into that consciousness, the consciousness of what we can do, not much of the doing rather, but of what we can contribute in terms of our presence, in terms of our preparing our students to be leaders. Um, in the truth, there are many people in the church. I'm speaking in particular. In the church, there are many people who live the faith, not because of the crisis, or leave the church not because of the crisis of faith, but they live the church because of the lack of confidence in the church leaders, in our leadership. Same through with our society. Many people are losing hope and faith in our government leaders. So I guess that's where we can venture into as to prepare our students, preparing them to be future leaders, um, leaders who are responsible, leaders who are really um, servant, um, leaders who are people-oriented, at the same time leaders who are very much into the grassroots of human relations as well.
Coming from your experience with your own passions, and listening and following your call, what words can you impart to the young students who are still struggling to discover what are their passions and what they're called to do?
To the young, um, maybe first is to know your strength. That's what most people would say. Play with your strength, and then from your strength, you just venture into where you want to go. But for me, aside from your own strength, aside from your own passion, where you're good at, in a way, try to look also where the society needs you, in what areas of the society you need the society needs you the most. For instance, we don't just go with the flow. Perhaps we can just swim. For instance, right now we're experiencing so many people who are into nursing, and underemployment because of certain miscalculations in the past of their passion and of the need. So they just saw a greater need and a greater opportunity, but at the same time they lack the passion to venture into these courses or into this aspect of life. So what I want you to look into, aside from your strength, is to get a feel of where the society needs you in particular. You may be into communication, you may be into sciences, but at the same time, these areas of specialization can be used in other aspects as well in our society. For instance, you can play into the academe, into our social environment, into our environment, into social consciousness, and so on and so forth. So there, just have a feel of where you want to go and the need of the society as well. And when you see certain match in the end, you know that somehow you made a good decision. As an everlasting, and not everlasting, a joy that is not fleeting, and a peace of mind would be a sign that a match, or the greatest need of the society was matched by your own passion, by or your own gift.